Jeremiah 23, verses 9. False prophets and empty oracles. My heart within me is broken. Because of the prophets, all my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whose wine has overcome, because of the Lord, and because of his holy words. For the land is full of adulterers. For because of a curse the land mourns. The pleasant place of the wilderness are dried up. The course of life is evil, and their mighty is not right. For both prophets and priests are profane. Yes, in my house I have found their wickedness, says the Lord. Therefore their way should be to them like slippery ways into the darkness. They should be driven out and fall into them, for I will bring disaster on them, the years of the punishment, says the Lord. I have seen the falling of the prophets of Samarat, the prophets by Baal, and caused my people Israel to err. Also I have seen horrible things in the prophets of Jerusalem, that commit adultery and walk in lies. They also strangle the hands of evildoers, so that no one turns back from its wickedness, and all of them are like Solomon to me, and her inhabitants like Gomorrah. Therefore thus says the Lord of hosts, considering the prophets, Behold, I will feed them with wormwood, and make them drink the water of gall. For from the prophets of Jerusalem the profane has gone out into all the land. Thus says the Lord of hosts, do not listen to the words of the prophets who prophesy to you. They make you worthless. They speak a vision of their own hearts, not from the mouth of the Lord. They continue to say to those who despise me, the Lord has said, you should have peace. And to everyone who walks according to the dedicated of his own heart, they say, no evil shall come upon you. For who has stood in the counsel of the Lord, and has perceived and hear his words? Who has marked his words and hear it? Behold, a whirlwind of the Lord has gone forth in fury. A whirlwind, a violent whirlwind. It will fall violently on the heads of the wicked. The anger of the Lord will not turn back until he has executed and performed the thoughts of his hearts. In the latter days you will understand it perfectly. I have not sent these prophets, yet they run. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, then they would have turned them from their evil ways and from their evil of their doings. I am a God near at hand, says the Lord, and not a God afar off. Can anyone hide himself in secret place? So I should not see him, says the Lord? Do I not fill the heavens and the earth? I have heard what the prophets have said, who prophesied lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. How long will this be in their hearts of the people who prophesied lies? Indeed, they are prophets of deceit of their own heart, who try to make my people forget my name by their dreams, which everyone tells his neighbor, as their father forgot my name for Baal. As their fathers forgot my name for Baal. The prophet who has a dream, let him tell a dream. And he who has my words, let him speak my words faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat, says the Lord? Is not my word like a fire, says the Lord, and like a hammer that breaks the rock in pieces? Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, says the Lord, who steal my word, every one from his neighbor. Behold, I am against the prophets, says the Lord, who uses their tongue and says, behold, and says, he says, behold, I am against those who prophesy false dreams, says the Lord, and to tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies and by their recklessness. Yet I did not send them or command them. Therefore they should not profit these people at all, says the Lord. So when these people or their prophets or their priests ask you, saying, what is the orchid of the Lord? You should then say to them, what orchid? Orchid. I will even forsake you, says the Lord. And as for the prophets and the priests and the people who say, the orchid of the Lord, I will even punish the man and his house, that every one of you should say to his neighbor, and every one to his brother, what has the Lord sworn, and what has the Lord spoken? And the orchid of the Lord you shall mention no more, for every man words will be his orchid, for having perverted the word of the living God, the Lord of hosts, our God. Thus you should say to that prophet, what has the Lord answered you, and what has the Lord spoken? But since you say, the orchid of the Lord, therefore thus says the Lord, because you say this words, the orchid of the Lord, and I have sent to you, saying, do not say the orchid of the Lord. Therefore, behold, I will utterly forget you and forsake you, and the city that I gave you and your fathers, and will cast you out of my presence. And I will bring an everlasting reproach upon you, and perpetual shame, which should not be forgotten.